Mais je me rappelle que tout va mieux quand je me rappelle d'avant. Je me rappelle du mal, je me rappelle du bien. Mais je me rappelle que tout va mieux quand je me rappelle de... Les Champs-Élysées brillent avec la lumière de l'Afrique. Des anges avec des gilets pare-balles viscèrent dans ma street. Je veux changer de galaxie, même pas changer de pays. Mes paupières tremblent seules, je suis nerveux comme le GTI. Des larmes sur le sol, du sang sur les murs. Si tu me demandes qui je suis, je te dirai que je suis perdu. Chacun pense à soi, ouais, chacun porte sa croix. Je fais confiance à personne, j'ai vu The Wire 3 fois. Les Champs-Élysées brillent avec la lumière de l'Afrique. Je rappe le charme du ghetto, la misère de la street. Je les baisse tout seul comme un grand, l'argent me va comme un gant. Le rap c'était mieux avant, que tu dises que le rap c'est mieux avant. Je me rappelle du mal, je me rappelle du bien. Mais je me rappelle que tout va mieux quand je me rappelle d'avant. Je me rappelle du mal, je me rappelle du bien. Mais je me rappelle que tout va mieux quand je me rappelle de rien. J'ai des trous de mémoire, j'ai des trous de mémoire. Qu'est-ce que ça fait d'être heureux? Je ne m'en souviens pas. J'ai des trous de mémoire, j'ai des trous de mémoire. Qu'est-ce que ça fait d'aimer quelqu'un? Je ne m'en souviens pas.
Alright, cool, let's get started. I wanted to go over UJ. I felt like he gave a good trade last week. Structure wise, it was, you know, pro trend, so this is something that we should definitely look to back test. So I'm going to do a top down on this. Cool. So for me, when I'm looking at this, we've got this high coming up here, and we can see that distro that just pushed in this whole leg here, and then we can see the multiple redistros in here, and then eventually we went ahead and we got this break. So this is what's holding higher time frame for me, this whole leg here. So I'm gonna make a note of that. Option. So this is holding high time frame. High time frame. All right, and then at the same time we can see where our SC was, right? You can see this whole thing was just a reaccumulation. So this was our SC for the higher time frame. See higher time frame, okay, and then we can also look at our market cycle in here very nicely. We can see this is the accumulation, and we can see this is the reaccumulation. And then that reaccumulation has gone into a distro. There's the distro there, and then we can see all that distro helped us to do, or helped price to do, was just helped us tap into this slingshot here, which is the higher time frame slingshot of this leg after we broke this high. So looking at this now, this is our higher time frame done. Now our intraday, I would say, somewhere up here. This is what's holding our intraday. Okay, and all of this is just intraday order flow, which obviously makes that the lower time frame structure. So that's so far we've got two structure points. We've got our higher time frame. we've got our intraday, which is also bullish. Okay, and then just because I'm on here, I might as well put it. We've got our lower time frame, which is also bullish, and we'll go into that. Okay, so in here now we can see, right? We can see this was another break, so we'll look at that. Okay, so now looking at this, we can see we can see the accumulation, reaccumulation, and then we can see here, this for me is what was holding the lower time frame, right? So let's look at that. So bullish lower time frame, and then this is holding that lower time frame. Okay, cool. So now again, when I find a leg, I tend to go and look at the point of interest. Now for this, we already know this was the accumulation sitting in here. Accumulation, okay, and then going into a reaccumulation. Going into a reaccumulation, and then that we'll see in a minute, but that we can anticipate that to be a distro up in here. Okay, so just like how we do with Mike, if there's any question, just unmute yourself, or if there's any disagreement, unmute yourself and then let me know as well. We're all here to learn. So there's the effect from the distro. Not so much of a great effect, like it didn't break anything. The only thing that is helping us to do is just pushing price into our demand zone. So automatically I'll be looking for here for an accumulation, and then just to save time, but normally we would go and we would place a limit on this MC here, but that didn't happen. So just to save time, we're just going to be focusing on that current price action. And if you were to just look at where we're trading, because we can definitely see this was a slingshot, right? But more so we can see inside that slingshot, this was the move that took all of this liquidity. This was the shakeout. So from top to bottom, this is where we're sitting, and then we can see prices within that 50 to 80% range. So now I would have an alert that says go down into lower time frame and then look at what's happening. So we can already see what's happening, right? And by the way, my yellow is Asian, gray is Frankfurt, and blue is New York. So we can already see what's happening. It's looking good so far, right? So now just need to let it come back. I've gone into Asian. Let me fast forward that. Okay, so it's coming back now. Oh, but then we pretty much broke it, right? So it's okay because we still got that 80% that we can play. All right. So let's see now. Okay, so within this, we go back. Okay, so whether we took so the way that I'm looking at this, right? So this is my slingshot. So my slingshot, let me make a note as well. It's going to require risk. Okay, so risk in slingshot. Total is going to be 0.25. That's going to be in total. And then what I'll do is 0.15. I'll put that on accumulation, and then 0.10 continuation. All right, continuation. I think I wrote that right. Huh? For order flow. So that's my. Where's it gone? Oh, there you go. Okay, so that's my plan for that. Okay. So now when we drop back down, right, we can see something's forming, isn't it? Okay, we can see. Now, first things first, we took, this is order flow, so we took that out. So that's that. So this is what's holding the order flow leg. And once we break that, we'll have bullish order flow. Okay, there you go. Now inside this, you can see what's happening. Accumulation. Okay, we are getting our, this is our trading range. All right. So this is our seller's climax. Secondary test. All of that secondary test, and then this for me was a secondary test in phase B. All up in here. So ideally what we needed was this to break. Okay, this, because when we look at this traded below, so this was what was holding the booth inside the schematic. Ideally you could have also, because this essentially is a type 2, ideally you could have also waited for the AR to get taken as a sign of strength to get another entry, or depending on you and obviously how you want to look at this. Cool, so we got the break. All right, do we? Right, we got the break here. Now this is where I would
Hey man.
Hey man, you all right?
Yeah, so I jumped on a little bit late.
No, that's all right, man. So yeah, the way that I'll be looking at this now is to just get the pullback. Okay, so this whole thing being the spring, we can look at this. Now how I would do this, I'm gonna split the entry. Two. So I can see 50%. Hold on, this is the previous, so just not, so we're currently trading 50% of that shake out there. So I'm gonna delete that just so then we don't confuse stuff. And then this is where we're at here. So and then remember my risk, let me bring that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so how I would look at this now is within this leg now, what do we have? We have a clear accumulation. I believe something, yeah, the 9 minute. 18, 17, 16. Come on. 16, 15. Okay. Let's see if maybe I think I'll just do that whole 12. So what I would have is I would have something sitting in here of that 80 right there. Okay, this way I would split the thing. So I'd have, oh, let me copy now. What the hell? Oh, and I'll have something sitting on here. So this is where I would split that 0.15. Okay. Let me go back to so 0.075. Of that 50, and then same thing here. Of 50 here. Okay, so that will be my limit in here. And then so now we still got 0.10. So we still got 0.10 risk to play. 0.10%. Okay, cool. So now this 0.10, I'm going to split it like this because here we have a reaccumulation, which is also the slingshot of this break here, right? It caused that break. Now looking at this, I also like the fact that we have got 50% of the spring. Not sorry, not the spring, the whole STB. So there's 50% of the. I'm just going to put shake out. There's 50% of the shake out here. Now, so at this point, I'm going to actually delete this one. Delete the 80%, and I'm going to remove that, and I will take that 0.075 into that, into half 0.05, 0.12, and I'll throw a little something here of that. This is 0.25. Okay. Now we could have done a couple of things for this. For example, meet up like here, because if what's my annotate? If we get clapped here, then this will pick us up, for example. Okay, I mean, I'm going to give it a little bit of leeway, just below that. So if this does come back down, would have enough room for this to get picked up. And then again, this is the line in the sand for me now, because that's the break there. So I'll look at that. So now that's it. That's my 2 plan of action. We've got this holding this leg. It can come back here. It's going to activate me here. And then at the same time, with the remaining risk, I would look for an accumulation in here because this is the SC, and then I would have a limit up in here. The reason why I'm having a limit in here inside this SC is because this is 50% of this move. Now, looking at this, what I'm also going to do, I'm going to split this risk. 0.0625. I'm gonna have one there, and I'm gonna have one just here with the same risk, obviously. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I don't know. So let me know. Would you guys agree with something like that? Do you guys yeah, let me know. Where's my box? Where did my books go? Oh, no worries. So let's look at where's our risk. So we'll go 2.75. Okay, so currently I'm sitting on risk in place 0.20, risk left 0.05. Okay, so that's what I've got on now. I want to keep that with me. Okay, cool. So let's look at this. Let's drop back down to about 6 minutes. And let's see. Okay, cool. So, right. So now price broke this. We also took our Asian high. Coming back down. So we're still in. So this is the close of London. London 5 o'clock. London's closed, but New York is still going on. Now this didn't tap us in, not yet. I'm not sure we've spread if it has or not, but this one will definitely have. So we're in from this one, we're in from this one. Now just to look at trade management, once when we make this new high, I'll look to reduce risk on both of these ones. And then, so we will reduce risk or we get clapped here and then we'll take it from here. That's what I'll be saying. And then once we make a new high from this, for example, like this, I'll go to break even here because then this is what's holding the order flow now. So that's that. Let's come back down. So now, ideally, my alert would go off that says look for an accumulation inside the slingshot. Okay, so we know inside the slingshot, this is the line in the sand for us. And the risk that we've got left is 0.05, right? Bring that. There you go. So we can play with 0.05 and then anything reduced risk afterwards. So looking at this, we have got, let's come back down to like a 2 minute. So we can see we're getting something, 1 drive, 2 drive, we can see the compression coming in, right? So ideally I need something like that to give us this entry here. Okay, so we're coming in, right? And as I said, this is the line in the sand. So should this go be lower, I'm not going to be looking for any buys inside this. I'm going to wait. I'm going to put that 0.05 lower. Okay. So, all right. So now ideally I'm going to need something like, so this the low, this the new low, this the new low, something like this to break here. Okay. And then there you go. We got the break. So now upon that break, same thing. Just looking at this whole thing. All right. And then we can slap something on that 50 with this low here, and then something on that 80 with this. Okay, so we've got 0.05, is it? Yeah, 0.05. I'm going to split that. 0.025. 0.025. Okay, and then with this one, once we make this high, so now change this. So risk in play is now total of 0.25. Risk left is 0. Now I have to wait for break even or reduce risk. That's my plan here. Okay, cool. Now when we make this high, I'm gonna go to reduce risk. And then we'll make a new high after that. I'm gonna go to break even. So there's the 50% that got popped. All right, and then do we come? Okay, cool. We don't come to the 80%. That's a shame. Yeah, that's a shame. But we can clearly see there's a nice accumulation in here, right? Now, this is what I was looking, but the only thing for me is this is outside my trading window. But for some of us who are in America, like I know, for example, Mike's trading window ends at 7 p.m., which is 2 p.m. EST. All right, so for some of the American guys, this is something that I guess they could have taken. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. And then now we're going to reduce risk in that one. But not only that, this is now deleted. So now I've got 0.25 back to play. And then reduce risk to that low here. So this is times. So this is 1250. 1250 divided by 2.5 is 5. So I'll put it to. So there's £10 in there, £10 risk. Or $10. Okay, and then so we've got 250 here to play with. $250. And we'll add that. Okay, so that's that. Now we'll take partials here. Okay, so we'll take partials here, and then we'll look for when price comes back to stack another entry. Okay, so that's that now. Let's see. Come back up, save some time. Okay, so we're in this with this one, we're in this with that one, So this one I'm going to delete this once when we do this, because when we do this, this is, as I said, what's holding this. So I'm going to have to delete this one. So let's see. Okay, so there's the break. And now there was a little something in here. Let's see what happened. So price came back, but as I said, for price came back, I guess came back into this reaccumulation in here. That was the cause of the into that test here, and then gave us another accumulation. But I'm not going to include this one simply because I am going to say like this is the 2 p.m. cutoff time. Okay, anything, I'm not going to look at that. But if anyone was to look at that, there was, I guess, a little something we can see on the micro. But as I said, I'm not going to include that. Okay, cool. So right now we've got a new cause and effect. So this was the accumulation that caused this new high, and now again we've reduced risk on this one as well now. Okay, so 0.025 times 31. I'm just making a note. Is 31.24. divided by. So it's 434. And we're going to be reducing it to here. I'm going to put it on here on that entry there. So I'm going to make that 5. Times 5 is 21. Reduce risk. And the risk that we got set in is $21.70. Okay, on that one, this one we're going to delete. So what's this one? This one is 0.75. So we're going to add that back on. 0.075%. 0.075%. Yep. So this is deleted now. And then with this, again, we go to reduce risk. So this one, same thing, 0.02. 0.625% times 3125 divided by 2150. And then we're going to bring this one back to here. So about 7 pips in risk times 7. So here we've got $10.17 sitting. So here we saved $50 minus 21.70. We have got another 9.55, and then we've got $21.08 left. So all of this is what now we can play with afterwards. Okay, cool. So reduce rates. Now we're going to delete this. Okay, so now what we can do is when price comes back, so there's the accumulation, there's the reaccumulation. Hopefully we can get a distro, and then price to come back into here, we can look for an accumulation to obviously go and make a new high, right? So we've got that. Now let's see. So not doing anything, just letting price do its thing. As I said, we need to look for that market cycle as well. So there's the distro, again, the distro, and then the distro is giving us that price coming back. I'll be looking for something up in here. So for me, this is evenly mitigated. That accumulation is pretty much done. As the only thing, of course, is that 80%, but we were 0.1 pip away, which for me is not a greater deal. I rather focus on this reaccumulation here. We can see some imbalance. We can see this was the shakeout. So I'll rather be focusing on here, which does bring us up to this area here, where we can look for another accumulation to stack the entry up. So be looking at that.
GK, if this gets clapped, oh sorry, if that gets clapped, will you still be okay with this?
Yeah, so I'll be in because this, so that's why I've split it. I've done one just on that entry there on that 50%.
And
then this, and then this is slightly, this is taking that whole move. Sorry, this is on that whole move here.
Yeah.
So that's why I split that. And then this I haven't touched. So this is not on break even yet. So this has still got some risk to it, which is below here, right? So I'm gonna go to break even on this one when we make a new high now.
Is this that thing you was on about when you take 0.25% before the?
Yeah. So this is what. Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
So that's what this one was, because the limit, majority of the risk was sitting inside here. because this was the MC, and then this is the SC where we saw this accumulation, and then this is just after
Slingshot.
we've got, yeah, after we've got the break even and the reduce, well, no break even, but reduced risk, the remaining risk we're now looking as continuation plays.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, lit. So prices coming in, Asian price action. So, you know, we'll sleep, but I can look for something like that where we can get Frankfurt and then something like this. Frankfurt and then New York just takes us to a new high. Price coming in. Now this is giving us a little something. Can you all see the trading range?
Yep. It's Asia though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Asian.
Hopefully it claps it and then does that or something.
Oops, hold on. This is our trading range here. Yeah, there's our trading range, and see 1, 2. This is our UA, and then STB so far. So yeah, something like that, and then give us that spring is what I'll be looking for. I never give. There you go. So yeah, so now that's, oh, but this is still freaking Asian. It's 4 o'clock our time.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy. Now the question is, do we hold that? Okay, so yeah, this one got clapped. This one got clapped, reduced risk. So make a note. Reduced risk hit minus 2170, I believe. Yeah, 70. There you go. So this one got clapped, and this one, oh, we're very shy away, but that one got clapped. And this one is not hit yet, but let's see.
I think that is hit, GK.
This one here.
Yeah, you win now?
So my reduced risk is sitting on that 80%.
Ah, no,
We
yeah,
sur-
okay, yeah,
yeah, we
cool. Yeah,
survived that.
you survived it. Lucky.
Okay, now we're getting something, but now what is the time? 5, 6, 7. So we've got 2 hours. We're getting a little something. I want something like that. But
Yeah.
let's see. Okay, so there's the sign of, oh, this is just all happening in Asian though.
It's mad, isn't it?
All happening in Asian.
What time is that? First one?
This is, yeah, this is at 6:30. So this is a bit still late. I mean, for me, this is why I personally didn't take it. But as I said, you know, some of the American guys could have taken this because they were
Have
some
you got
of the
anything down here?
No. So the only thing I would have had would be that this accumulation in here.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that, and I didn't go into this because there was some, I think there might have been something in the seconds, but because we're not in our 4th drive, we are now STB. I didn't even go into that seconds because we needed to get that break, you see. Okay, cool. So looking at this now,
But we do have a sign of strength though, so it kind of, would you consider that as a sign of strength? Like this whole.
definitely, yeah, because we took this out now. We're trading outside of the AR. So this is our jump across the creek and our sign of strength.
So if it did, if the price did come back into here, maybe
Uh,
a schematic.
But it wouldn't. So this is what's holding it now, right? This is what's holding the order flow. We've got this leg now.
Yeah.
So like pretty much where we're trading, like this should have happened here now.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I'm
get you.
saying? But at the same time, remember this is 50% of the shakeout from this to this.
Yeah.
So technically this is still valid to just go now because we have
Got ya.
tapped into 50%. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is, I think I'm just gonna give Asian a win, man. Yeah, because this, and then even I think if you was to, all right, so yeah, traded through the SC, came back into the accumulation, it came back into 50% of it, not 80% of it. Anyways, I'm not even gonna bother looking at that. This is just them doing them. Now my second thing now is, so I'm still asleep. I don't know this is happening. I would have an alert here that says booth, but really this is go to break even now. Go to break even. Okay. And then we're still carrying on with, so we've got 2 trades in, one loss. All right, so there's Frankfurt. Frankfurt didn't sweep Asian high or Asian low. They just traded in between. And then there's the booth. So we've got new high now. So now this is going to break even. So I got $10 and 10.17. So $10 and then 10.17 left to play with. Okay. At the same time, I'm gonna do partials loss, like once when the move is done, because it'll be much easier. So this break even now, this break even now. Okay. Technically we could have gone to break even. Yeah, so break even here now on this. All right, now let's just see. So we've got this new leg now, right? What I'll be looking for is, so we can see there was an accumulation in here. We can see this is the move, this is the reaccumulation, and that caused this high. I don't want to take a trade out of Asian, so the only thing I'm going to be playing for is this. I'll be looking for an accumulation up in here. Yeah. So that's what I'll be waiting for New York to come in. And ideally, just wanna this whole move up in here. And there's our 50, there's our 80. I think at the same time, we've got this micro up in here. So I want to be looking at this area, which is also lining up with the 80. So this is my
Did you
slingshot.
not consider that mitigated though, GK, because of the high?
The only thing you could say is that that 50% is mitigated, not the 80%.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
but the thing is, so when I would look at it, I would look at it from this, isn't it? Because this is still my high and this is still my low. So whether this, sorry, so this is my high and this is my low. So whether this did come back and mitigate, can you see how my box covers it?
Yeah.
So my low would be placed there, and then beside this, I would look for that.
Yeah.
So I would catch that. Okay,
So where would you put your alert? So once you'd put an alert here once this breaks, and you then put an alert back when it.
No, so when this breaks now, this is what I would be looking at inside here. And then
Yeah,
this is where
okay.
my alert would inside on top of that box is where my alert would sit.
Okay.
Okay. Got about 10 minutes left. Let me see if I can make this quick. Cool. So price still going on. There's the distro. So now we kicked in into New York. This my alert would go off that says look for accumulation, look for that booth, and look for buys. All right, so we tapped into 50%. Not need to be seeing something at the moment. This is what's holding this drop here. So let's see. Okay, so we tapped into that 80, right? And then again something. So I need this break. Well, technically this was the break. So let's see. All right, so we got that break there as well now. Now I'll be looking for somewhere up in here. I'll throw something off that 50. And then something off that 80. Okay, so looking at our risk again. This is what, so we've got, I want to put 10 that 10.17, 10.17, and then 21.8, 21.08 to throw in here. And then I want to delete that and delete this. Okay, cool. So let's see. Okay, so this is again we've gone outside of the London. I'm sorry, New York as well. No, London and New York crossover, but we're still inside New York. Okay, so we tapped in at 50, and oh my days!
That's madness.
I
I
bet
reckon you would
you.
have. I reckon you tapped in there for spread, maybe. Anyway, you would have probably had spread on there.
Then this is coming back. No. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so now we tapped in both of them. Now my plan is when we make that new high, reduce risk on to here on both of them, and then once when we make something like that and we make a new high, go to break even.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh, that's the. Okay, so that got clapped. Both of them. So now we've got. Yeah, the stop loss. So now this one was actually stop loss, full stop loss here. I guess I could have gone to reduce risk here because price did give us an opportunity. 14 pips in terms of this to go and reduce risk, but for me, I needed that to happen before I could have reduced risk on this one here. But we didn't get that, so yeah. So I'll take that as a full stop loss. And then what was that? That was minus 20.08. And then 10.17. Okay. So we'll put that here. And I think that was it in terms of re-entries anyway. Yeah, and then there you go. So look at where it came into. It came into that freaking 80%, but came into freaking Asian.
And would you fit in? No, you wouldn't have reduced
No,
risk.
so I
would you?
wouldn't have been in, and the reason why is because I'm stuck. There's Asian here, there's Asian here, and then there's SC. So I needed this accumulation.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? The only thing is, I guess they wanted to come down into that 80%. Because normally, I guess I could have put a risk here and then here, but because this is Asian, if price was to clap this, I'm expecting price to just come down lower.
JK, can I just ask something?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you've just see a minute sec. So you got okay, so you got this, and then you got slingshot. So you got like extreme slingshot. So when price comes down, could you not? Are you counting this as your sort of entry on that? If that makes sense.
Yeah, because this is my slingshot. This is the accumulation. This is the reaccumulation that gave us this new high, isn't it?
Yeah, but you got in here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
No. Sorry, I didn't get in here. No, because I needed to get that break. This was the break. I got in here.
yeah, that's the schematic. Yeah.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
There's
sorry.
the break. There's the entry. The only thing is, it didn't give us that new high, which is where I could have gone to reduce risk. Instead, it gave us about 14 pips jump, and then came back and then clap us out.
So what would stop you from putting a limit on a slingshot? Because I noticed sometimes you would put a limit on.
If this was New York, or if this wasn't Asian, then I
Yeah.
could have threw a little bit into that 80 and then stop loss here, basically. Because yeah, this would have been my whole leg. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or so that would be option 1, and option 2 would be finding the accumulation in here, find out what's not mitigated, and then put that limit here and then stop loss here, because this is my MC. But as I said, I'm stuck because this is Asian, so I needed that accumulation in here. But very quickly, I think that was it, because then after that we had the news, and just like how we saw with USD CHF, we just went
Yeah.
with it. So let's look at what we've got in terms of gains. So we're currently at, we went to a high of 600, 115, 600, 115, 600. Wait. 115, 600. Okay, so this is a 26-1, and this is a 96. Well, technically this isn't that, because this one was here, wasn't it? And then this one was much lower. This one was here. Okay. All right, so this was your 80-1, and this is your 7-1. No, sorry, it was up here somewhere, wasn't it? Just below that 80. So there's about 8. Yeah. So that's the 8, and then this is your 80-1 with that reaccumulation, and then gain wise, so this is 1,000 bucks in here, and then this is 260. In total, we lost about 20, 30, 50 odd bucks for 1,200 or something. Okay, so I'm gonna just do tally up, and then I'm gonna drop it in the chat, because this was good. Again, everything made sense, right? Because it was structure, it was slingshot, good point of interest, and I'm gonna add it into our
Backtesting.
as well, into the back test. Yeah.
GK, how long have we gonna have to open a new Zoom or?
Yeah, actually, let me send a new Zoom, because then this will be good to put back in. So yeah, let me do that.